I'm Nathan Judah. I'm here with Wolves reporter Tim Spiers. Tim, I mean, I'm kind of lost for words at that second half display, to be honest. I don't think anyone saw that coming. Lost for words, says video presenter Nathan Judah. That's a good start.
Yeah, not great for my job situation.
It's the most surprising defeat of the season. It's the worst defeat of the season. It's the worst half of the season. It was a capitulation. Now, I would like to start by saying that Villa were excellent. Right, Grealish, outstanding, best player on the pitch.
Yep.
And they overpowered Wolves in the second half, and they fully deserved their win. But Wolves have completely contributed to their own downfall with some alarming defensive mistakes, individual errors all over the place. No one's done themselves justice tonight, nobody. And they didn't create a single chance in the second half until Helder Costa had a shot from in the 93rd minute. So what the hell happened in that second half? Because at half time they were in control, I thought, the way that Nuno likes them to be. They weren't dominating the game, but they were in control of possession and play. And I thought it was set up for them to take it on in the second half, and they just came out and offered nothing.
Yeah, absolutely, and like you say, when they got that equaliser, two scrappy goals to start off the game, by the way. When they got that equaliser, there was only one. I mean, I'd say, do you turn to me, and there was only going to be one winner in that.
I did turn to you.
You did?
And I did say that, and it looked like that, because they recovered from a slightly shaky start, really grew into the game, started dominating possession. Villa looked terrified whenever they were running at the ball with them, particularly Cavaleiro and Jota, obviously. And it was all set up perfectly. So what the hell Nuno said at half time, I don't know, but it hasn't was what Bruce has said. It's just the manner of the goals, really. And just spoke to Connor Cody, who's obviously crestfallen, and said the second goal in particular, he said time and again was just a killer, and not like Wolves, and that's the killer goal. And,
so what's
and then
happened
the third
to his
one
defence,
was 5 minutes later.
What's happened to his defence? Sorry to cut you off, but that 3-0 a back five, 3-0 against Leeds, comfortable. I know obviously it's a harder test against Aston Villa, but to concede 4 goals and 3 in that second half, what's the difference?
They probably needed to play better than they did at Leeds to win here, probably, in terms of a team performance, because Leeds were so poor. Take nothing away from us, but they were. It's a good question. It's not really one that I can answer. You can see it on the pitch that they're a bit more hesitant at the back. They're not decisive enough in their clearances and their interceptions, and they don't look as structured and organised as they once did. And now that doesn't make much sense, because it's the same players and it's the same formation and it's the same everybody. So confidence can't be an issue, particularly after Wednesday. So everybody's got to look at themselves, really. Willy Bolly, Connor Cody made their own mistakes tonight. Danny Bart, he's had a nightmare today, I've got to say. A torrid afternoon.
He's the most loyal person you could possibly have at the club.
No, he is. Yeah.
He is, yeah. But I mean, doesn't bode well when he was substituted for Roman Says.
No, that's what I mean. So everybody's culpable tonight, and I don't want to single out players at all. But you've just got to look at the fact that Danny was subbed off, which is unusual for a centre half to be subbed off. The captain as well, and very galling and humiliating for him, I guess. But he played his part in the first 2 goals and paid the price for it. I still didn't really see the sense in that substitution, to be honest, because Wolves needed 2 goals at that point, and bringing Sace on for Bart, I'm not really sure what that did, because you've got Gibbs White sat on the bench. We know what an impact he's made of late, and could have really offered something on midfield. And Jai was on a booking. I was certain he was going to get sent off, and I thought Gibbs White for a Jai would have made sense. The subs were odd. Right now, we're talking about the players making errors, but Nuno's made errors in his subs. He's taken off Jota, Cavaleiro, and Bonatini has not really offered much tonight, I'm afraid. He really hasn't. How he lasts the 90 minutes and Jota and Cavaleiro don't, I do not know. And again, we've seen a slight change in the formation, because he's got 2 strikers on the field, and Wolves just created nothing. It doesn't work when he changes the formation. Never has done.
Do you think Benicofobia should have? I mean, it's easy to say he got his team wrong tonight, but you look at the starting 11, and it was pretty much what you predicted, right?
Can't fault the team selection. It's the team. Well, from my point of view, anyway, it's the team that I'd have picked. And I said before the game, Bonatini should start. So you can't fault the team selection. In hindsight, you can't say Phobia should have started, I don't think. They just didn't perform today.
What's Nuno had to say afterwards?
Obviously very, very disappointed. Pleased as a game on Tuesday to bounce back ASAP, and he says that one of his phrases, they've got to stay humble this week, which is true. They've got to be humble. They've got 2 this is the positives, right? They've got 2 extremely winnable home games this week. I'm not sure you could handpick 2 better games than Reading and Burton at home. So, but they've got to stay humble and know that they've got to work very hard for those victories. If they do, then they'll be in a very good position in a week's time, because they'll be at least 7 points clear of third with 8 games to go.
Absolutely.
So that's got to be the target, and they would have been offered this position at the start of the season, they'd have taken it. Of course they would.
Of course you are, yeah.
It's a great position, so they've got to remember that. They've bounced back well from defeats all season long. So very important, he's got them in for training tomorrow. He'll have them in on Monday. A very important couple of days. An important team selection on Tuesday. Very interested to see what he does with it. And they've got to bounce back as soon as possible because the gap's 3 points to God.
I was going to say,
and you know, there's the potential for it to turn quickly.
And more importantly, 7 points to Aston Villa. Now, how worried are you? How worried is this situation?
Not a huge amount. Well, what is it? It's 5 points from 5, which is terrible for the leaders. But on Wednesday night, we were saying Wolves are back. One of their best performances of the whole season, and 45 minutes has not undone that. And do you know what? It's highlighted how important Wednesday's game was.
Absolutely. 7
points lead is great. Like I said, with 2 home games coming up, I think it's time to be calm and say, look, Wolves are good enough to win this title by a bit of a distance still. You know, Cardiff keep winning, but that won't last.
7, they've got to play 7 out of the bottom 8 as well, which, you know, is always a bonus.
It is.
Or is it? Because they're fighting for their lives?
I think it is in November, but I'm not sure at this time of year. You want to be playing mid-table teams that go nowhere, don't you? Like Leeds United. But you know, whatever. They're good enough to beat every single team that they play.
Tuesday night, what changes would he make? Surely Benicophobie's got to be knocking the door, or does he go back to Costa Cavallero Jota?
I mean, Reading aren't the most physical of teams, aren't they? You want to get that and get in their faces with pace from the off, and
Ryan Bennett probably gets recalled.
I think, judging on the fact that Bart's been substituted, you'd say Bennett would come back in. I mean, they had no control in midfield in that second half. You might think about bringing Sace in. The wing backs can't change, which is a problem if they're struggling at all. Douglas didn't have a great game today. Costa looked good when he came on, actually, and Gibbs White and Afobe, they're good players and they're keen. You know, Gibbs White, Costa, Afobe, take your pick out of those 3 to come in, plus Bennett.
Can you retweet your "Don't Panic" piece, please? Comment piece. You don't need to panic, do we? It's okay so far. It's just a bad night.
No, I still back them to win promotion comfortably.
Comfortably.
Yeah.
First.
Yeah.
Aston Villa 4, Wolves 1 for all the post-match reaction. Make sure you log on to expressandstyle.com.